numerous successes in track and field. So, his two loves are athletics and technology. For those of you who may see these as two disparate fields, they are both marinated with discipline and leadership. In Mr. Bob-Semple's own words, iGovTT provides me with the opportunity to pursue my passion where I have the privilege to provide vision and leadership to an organization that is vested in improving the lives of persons within the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. A very, very enticing bio indeed. And I open the floor for Mr. Bob-Semple, well, I call him Charlo, to address you guys. Thank you very much.
Morning, everyone. Thanks very much, Hayden. Last morning, pleasure to see you. So those online, you should be hearing me loud enough. If not, just let me know, and I will project a bit more. So as Hayden mentioned, I'm Charles. I will take up about 30 minutes of your time. Now, in the past webinars and sessions, persons have a lot of questions during and after. We're going to try to do questions after. If you have a real burning question I have, please type it in the chat and Kern will indicate to me and I'll try my best to answer. But during the presentation slide, I will try my best to give some examples and so on so that we could relate accordingly. So first off, I would like to share with us some economic losses. Now, when I looked at it, cybercrime is projected worldwide to be, yes, you see the figure correct there, US 10.5 trillion US dollars per annum. This is according to Cybersecurity Ventures and the World Economic Forum. Guess what the global GDP is? 105 trillion. So you are looking at, by the end of 2025, cybercrime is going to account for 10% of the world GDP. Secondly, we generally only look at these costs one-dimensionally. We look at data breaches, which is expensive. But the reality is, the costs include data breaches. Some of us will have intellectual property that persons will hijack from us. Theft, the ransomware attacks, business disruption, but I want us to look at recovery costs of it and lost revenue. In recovery costs, you're looking at hiring the experts, and when we don't deploy security solutions and we become vulnerable, we still have to spend the money to become vulnerable after restoring our systems. You also have the issue where, like Charles Bob-Semple, let's say Kern Elliot, he's here with me. Let's say Kern Elliot went through a cybersecurity attack and he was breached. So Kern Elliot then had Charles Bob-Semple's information taken by attackers. And so Charles Bob-Semple can now sue Kern Elliot for finances and loss. And so we have those additional costs that we have to consider. Then you have the reputational damage. Will I want to do business with a company that continues to get breaches, putting my own information at risk? And very importantly, for several of us, especially those of us in any small and medium enterprises, it is estimated that after a cybersecurity attack, 60% of small businesses will go out of businesses simply because they can't afford. I can't afford to be in business any longer. It's against this backdrop and the fact that in 2004 years ago, the estimated world cost was 6 trillion. So annually, cybercrime increases by 1 trillion US every year. And when we begin to proffer and put more things online, we become more vulnerable. And because Trinidad and Tobago is moving in that direction, we're not there yet, we still are way behind, but some of us are at different levels of maturity in ICT. The government saw it fit to have consideration of cybersecurity defense as a country. But apart from the countryside, which is part of the role I perform in iGovTT, apart from that side, they also thought and felt the need to beef up and assist where applicable, us, small and medium enterprises, right? And the reason I said us is because in the bio you also heard that I have a small business as well, Fusion. So in the budget reading 2024, the 2nd of October 2023, it reads, with the rapid advancement of technology, and this is the Minister of Finance, with the rapid advancement of technology and the growth of the digital economy, the increasing threat of cyber attacks means that more secured and concerted efforts are required to protect sensitive information from being penetrated. To aid in reducing this risk, I propose to introduce a Cybersecurity Investment Tax Allowance of up to TT $500,000 for companies which incur expenditure in respect of investments in cybersecurity software and network security monitoring equipment. To qualify for this allowance, the expenditure must be certified by iGovTT. That is where I work, right? Madam Speaker, this measure is envisioned to incentivize companies to invest in cybersecurity for 2 years from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2025. This measure will require amendments to the Corporation Tax Act, Chapter 7502, and will result in an estimated tax loss of 8 million. So I want to bring two things to the fore. One is the coverage. The coverage is for network security monitoring equipment and cybersecurity software. So the question is, Charles, what about if I want services? I want someone to come and assess my environment. Currently, that is not covered, right? And so persons say, but yeah, but Charles, this is important. And my encouragement to persons is, here what's going on. We have this opportunity. Let us use the opportunity to shore up our defenses. The government, as sure Minister Inwards and the Minister of Digital Transformation, will be observing our expenditure and have some consideration in terms of how it could be expanded. So the coverage is for cybersecurity software, and we'll discuss some of that in a bit, and network security monitoring equipment. The second factor I'd like to share is the period. This is from 1st of January 2024 to the 31st of December 2025. Any expenditure you make out of this period is not applicable. However, if you were to spend within the period and claim subsequently, let us say in January 2026, you recall, hey, you know what, I made this expenditure, but I didn't claim. That is no problem because you would have expended within the period. So I wanted to share those things before I move on, because when I move on now, we're going to clarify a bit more what really does this tax incentive mean. So the minister continued in 3 months later in December 2023, and it says Cyber Security Investment Tax Allowance. Wherefore, each year of income commencing on 1st January 2024 until 31st December 2025, a company incurs expenditure from investments made in cybersecurity software and network security monitoring equipment, which is what I just shared. There shall be allowed as a deduction in ascertaining the chargeable profits of the company for those 2 years of income, an allowance up to a maximum of $500,000. What this means is, when you spend to shore up your defenses, and let me pause here because we had a pre-conversation where sometimes we tend to think investment in cybersecurity is a wasted effort in a lot of companies, right? Large companies, small companies. We could spend our money elsewhere. And that is true. But remember, the facts are shared up front. You are risking something you have no control over. You're risking the shutdown of your own company. 60% of small companies close down after a cybersecurity attack. And the bad actors are becoming more aggressive. Move from 6 trillion US to 10.5 trillion. For this year, it is already estimated at 9 trillion US cyber security crime. So some of us will be like, oh, I don't really want to spend because I don't have anything to quote unquote show. But the risk that we incur for not having something to show, some product to show, is not worth it because it could be our shutdown. But the minister offered that you can spend up to 500,000. I know you don't have to spend all 500,000 one time. Some of us are small businesses and we may invest in a firewall next month, and then invest in some intrusion detection some months later, and that is okay. You could apply as many times as you want, and Kern will show us what the application looks like in a bit. So it is a tax deduction. You're not getting cash back in your hand for the expenditure. It's a deduction on your profits. So in other words, your tax outlay, your payment to tax is reduced due to your expenditure to show up your enterprise from a cybersecurity standpoint. And then the second part goes, notwithstanding subsection 1, any expenditure incurred by a company in procuring for its own new cybersecurity, software and network security monitoring equipment shall be certified by iGovTT. This means that the solution is not applicable to distributors, resellers, or such, unless they purchase for use by themselves. So if Charles Bob-Semple is a distributor and sold 20 firewalls, Charles Bob-Semple Enterprises cannot send in any claims for those. However, if Charles Bob-Semple Enterprise deployed a firewall for themselves, then of course. So now that we understand the backdrop, the importance of cybersecurity, and what the government proffered in its reading in October and December 2023 for this period that we're in, I just want to share iGovTT's scope and remit. So simple, very straightforward. And what we avoided, we avoid all use of paper in this process. Everything is online. You are able to log into a portal, get your certificate of expenditure. You'll see what that looks like shortly. And you can monitor the progress in terms of how iGovTT is progressing, and as well as making reference to any historical claims that you would have had made. So one, iGovTT receives the applications of certification online. There's a portal, you log in. As with any solution, like to pick your Amazon or anything like that, you have your own credentials, your login credentials. iGovTT will then assess the applications for validity and endorse or approve or reject. But you know the thing, let me tell you something, a secret. iGovTT does not want to reject anything because we want to help move the things forward. So there are some documents and so on that you must provide. But if you don't provide the documentation, we are challenged that we cannot approve unless we have these supporting information. Additionally, if the expenditure is made outside of the period, we can't approve those things, right? So the rejection will take place after recursive conversation and so on with each of the applicants. We then provide the certification, and in some cases, we may have some sampling auditing that we will undertake. So we have two areas of certification. As I would have shared, the minister would have mentioned two areas, the software and the network monitoring. And in software, we generally have four categories that we consider. We have prevention, detection, response, and recovery. So prevention is like you're putting things in place to prevent anything from taking place, prevent as best as possible. Detection is if someone were to be trying to get in, you will be notified, hey, they're trying something here. And then we deliver response. Well, response means they got in. They are in, and now we have to deal with this thing, which none of us want. And recovery is after the thing has happened and we were vulnerable and we succumbed to it, how do we recover? Because they could get all of the information, and now how do you recover? And so we have these four areas. And what we did, and you could get this information if you go on Kern will share the SATT's website or as well as iGovTT's website. If you go on it, you will be able to see what I refer to in the bottom as 32 categories. Now, cybersecurity and that the environment changes all the time. But what we did, we looked at everything that is possible in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Place these in some buckets and identified 32 categories. As an example, one bucket is firewall protection. So anything to deal with our defenses and our prevention is captured in one bucket. And there are several areas under prevention that are captured. The next category is network security monitoring equipment. And we have 8 areas: traffic analysis, packet capture and inspection, anomaly detection, intrusion detection and prevention, logging and logging analysis, incident response support, network forensics, security information event management. And within this, we have 8 categories. And one category in here, as an example, is network intrusion detection systems. And there are several others that you'll be able to have access with information that is provided online. Now, the thing is, you'll be saying, but dear Charles, we're in a shipping industry, we're not necessarily security experts. And so the recommendation, of course, is to have the experts with understanding, though any expenditure to utilize experts to provide advice is not captured. The commitment and the proof of expenditure in shoring up your defenses is what is captured by the Ministry of Finance, right? In terms of what I would have shared earlier. Eligibility and submission. This just goes into some more detail of what I would have shared earlier. But one of the things we have to be aware is the applicant must be registered under the Registrar General Department, and you have to be in good standing. So like, okay, as an example, you may be, let's say we have a conglomerate, and we have offices throughout the region. And the office in Barbados would have made an expenditure in cybersecurity. And you are now deploying it in Trinidad. Does that count? The answer is no, because the expenditure did not occur from the organization that is registered with the Registrar General in Trinidad and Tobago, right? As an example for us to be aware of. The applicant must be the end user. Remember, we said is not for resellers, is not for distributors, but you have to be the end user. In other words, the thing that I spent money on for software, or the thing I spent money on for the network security monitoring equipment is for my use and not to sell to Hayden Alleyne Enterprises or Kern Elliot's conglomerate. It's for me, my use. We shared already calendar years 2024, 1st January 2024, 31st December 2025, and VAT will be considered for VAT registered companies. VAT exclusive investment will be processed, and for non-VAT, the full amount will be processed. And the allowance is applicable to any new purchases, but we are aware that persons have arrangements with cloud providers and cloud services. Those things are considered and will be approved, because it is to ensure that our borders, in terms of Trinidad and Tobago, via enterprises, is adequately covered. Now, for your submission requirements, remember I said earlier, we are desirous of approving everything, but we require certain documents. And some of us upload documents for uploading documents' sake. In this case, everything is going to be checked and scrutinized before you receive your certificate of expenditure. And you'll see an image of it shortly. So you have to send the completed Cybersecurity Incentive Tax Allowance application. Right. You have to send in the company registration certificate. So this is proof that your company is registered, and we will check to ensure in good standards. Your VAT registration, your tax certificate, and the proof of payment. This proof of payment could be any format. You'll be like, yeah, but Charles, I'm not seeing credit, or yeah, I'm not seeing a bank transfer there, as an example. But the ETC means any other means that you would have made payment by is applicable, once you can share with us that proof of payment. So the requesting company submits iGovTT checks, The application is reviewed for compliance. If everything is in order and can be approved, you will get an approval certificate. If there's an issue, we will have the go in, to and fro, hey, send this for us, you forgot that, and we will keep that exercise as long as possible. If the request cannot be approved, you will get a rejection notice. And everything is stored online for you to be able to see. The only entities that will be able to see your certificates of expenditure will be iGovTT as well as the Inland Revenue Division. They will have access to be able to log into the portal and be able to access any certificate that is within the system. This is what the certificate of expenditure looks like. And you will see there are some pertinent information that you would have provided. One, when you would have registered, you need to register and say, okay, this is the company I'm registering with, and this is the information I'm submitting. And we will have what your expenditure is and whether it is to cybersecurity software or it is to the network security monitoring equipment, or both. And we can have as many of these certificates as necessary. The signatures, and you will see it shortly when Kern goes through, is managed by DocuSign, which is a highly secure signatory environment. And you would observe a QR code. This is to prevent any fraud. So if it is someone were to make a scan of a certificate and change some information on the certificate, the QR code, when you scan the QR code, it will go back into our portal on what that certificate is to be. And so do not attempt or encourage, or if we are aware of anyone who tries this, it will be viewed in a certain light. So the QR code, the signatories, everything that we have developed is highly secure, and we have backward tracing and tracking throughout the entire system. Just for some information on customer care side, the solution that you're about to see was launched on the 1st of March. We call the solution CITA, CITA, Cybersecurity Investment Tax Allowance. And we have an AI named CITA as well who speaks on our behalf. The digital management is via iGovTT and TT Connect. You will be able to interact on iGovTT's website, CITA's website, to be able to get any information surrounding CITA. Any challenges and so on one has, you can contact any of the TT Connect service centers. There are 6 in Trinidad, 1 in Tobago. You also have the option of sending an email, toll-free number. You also have live chat facility. This is where you would see when you go onto the site, you are being encouraged. Do you have any questions? And you will have an interactive session with an agent during work hours. Outside of work hours, we deployed some artificial intelligence tools through chatbots, which will utilize a database to provide responses accordingly. And if those responses are not adequate, on the next work day, the agent will take it up and respond accordingly. Additionally, you could utilize social media or our website to be able to communicate. One of the conversations I had earlier surrounded the whether or not we have a list of vendors to consider. The answer is no. We stay away from vendor recommendations and rather recommend the adherence of whatever solution you're using to certain international standards. And we highlighted several standards in consideration. So again, if Charles Bob-Semple security company creates a firewall yesterday, but it doesn't abide by any of the standards, international standards, then deploying that solution is against the spirit of what the Minister of Finance would have proffered, because there's no guarantee that this is going to be any better than having nothing, because there is nothing substantially behind Bob-Semple firewall to say that this firewall abides by certain international standards, and therefore reliance can be placed on it. Thanks so very much. I'm going to hand over to Hayden, who will introduce Kern, and Kern will then take us through some features of the solution and a walkthrough. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charles, for a very engaging and exciting presentation, touching on some critical items there with respect to cybersecurity. And today's session is a follow-up from a session the Shipping Association did on June 27, where we looked at a number of the technical side of cybersecurity and the risk of hacks and and things like that. So now, seeing that the government is taking a step in the direction to incentivize each and everyone to get their house in order, it is really encouraging. So thank you very much for that, Charles. I would like to add, the Financial Times indicated that in 2023, there was 64 major cyber incidents in the maritime sector globally. Wow. In 2013, just 10 years ago, it was only 3. Wow. And in 2003, it was 0. So we see in the trend, cybersecurity is a very critical item for our industry. Charles spoke a lot about the global financial implications of it. So, and as we are seeing globally geopolitical tensions, you could bet your bottom dollar we're going to be seeing more cyber attacks within our industry. It's just a place people will go to, they will look at opportunities. Trade is everything, is what makes the world go around, and we have to be mindful of that. So I will now bring to the floor Mr. Kern Elliot to speak a little bit more about the application and the online process they have. So I'll just read Kern's bio. Kern is an accomplished software development professional with a passion for implementing transformative digital solutions for the public sector. As team lead of software development at iGovTT, Kern has spearheaded impactful technology innovations, including Trinidad and Tobago's first government omni-channel live chat and chatbot system, TT GovChat, and leading the government's first hackathon, HackTT. That would have been interesting to be part of. These initiatives have empowered public agencies, streamline IT delivery, and improve citizen engagement. Kern's vision extends beyond Trinidad and Tobago, aiming to transform IT solutions across CARICOM country. His leadership and strategic direction in technology are driving significant change in the Caribbean public sector. Kern also attained a Prime Minister's Special Award for Scientific Ingenuity in 2015, and his expertise includes systems analysis, product management, data analytics, and conversational AI. So coming to address you all, we have Mr. Kern Elliot. Kern?
Thanks very much. Good day, everyone. So ideally, just to add into the what actually comes from cybersecurity issues, while many stats have been shown on the trends, there's one thing that we actually have left out that hasn't been really addressed, and why these attacks actually will actually get exponential as time goes on. As AI becomes easier for persons to use, that will actually help with automation, so that can actually now expand the reach of any one of the bad actors to be able to, instead of going to one particular site and or industry at a point in time, it can actually expand that person to use that same time to go exponentially more, 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, but more than that. So it's good to keep in mind that while it is a big threat, because of how technology evolves over time, is going to get even larger as things get much easier for persons to do. Having said that, just want to touch on the online application itself. And ideally, this entire application was built within Trinidad and Tobago. And what we have done is that we actually created an entire process to be able to have this 100% available digitally. You know that everyone will be using this platform busy, they're running their businesses, they may not be available to go to office between the hours of 8 to 4. So it's actually available 24/7, so persons can upload their information as soon as they see it fit without having to go to a particular office. So ideally, the online application can do things in terms of you can submit your documents, you can view your application status. Statuses will be sent to you when you cross over to different aspects or different workflows within the application. You'll receive notification of your approval, and of course, your certification will be delivered 100% digitally to you without having to actually go and get or print any paper to show that you have been approved for this particular initiative. So with being online, of course, there are several benefits that we can look at. It's faster processing, it's more transparency. Of course, you can adhere to data practices. We have done also our own, I shouldn't say we do our own, but we do security checks. We have been certified by TPC that this application is as safe as possible to use, that your data is safe. We're trying to also not use too many paper based on not use any paper at all when applying for this particular initiative. And of course, it's always great to have these records available because having the records and the analytics that can now be used and say, Mr. Minister, this has been applied by so many persons. This initiative now can go way past just December 2025. Yeah. Having said that, I'm going to now move on to the application. We have a little short video in terms of going through the entire process. And at the end, we'll just speak a little bit more about the actual certificate and the different features that Mr. Bob-Semple spoke about earlier.
Hi, and welcome to this demonstration of the Cybersecurity Investment Tax Allowance Management System, or SATT for short, CITP. This system was developed by iGovTT, and it allows organizations to submit applications for certification of expenditure made towards cybersecurity software on network security monitoring equipment between the 1st of January 2024 to the 31st of December 2025. So the first step would be to create an account. I'm going to register on the top right here. And here we're going to enter the company information, which will be the name, contact information, the incorporation details, such as when a company was incorporated, certificate of incorporation number, one of the non-revenue number, and if the company is VAT registered, the VAT registration number. Next is the liaison information. This person is someone who is authorized by the company to submit applications on behalf of the company. The last on this here is the login information, which would be the email and password used to access the account that's being created here. We're going to submit this application. Next, we need to verify the email address that this account is being created with. So I'm just going to go over to get that email here. All right. So usual procedure, we verify the same address by clicking the link. Right. The account has been verified. So now we got create out-risk application. So I'm going to go to new application here and follow the instructions on the screen here. We have an opportunity to update the information that was entered during registration if needed. If not, we just click next. Now we need to enter information for a director, owner, or board member. This person is the one who would give the authorization to the liaison to submit applications and the system on behalf of the company. Next is the financial details. So this will be all the expenditure information. First, we choose the year that the expenditure was made in. Then we add an item near the expenditure list. Choose the category, which would be cybersecurity software or network security monitoring equipment. Then we choose a subclass. If it's not in a list, we can choose other, enter the details, right? And then the manufacturer or brand. Next in the list here would be the actual expenditure line item, purchase order number, and the receipt number related. Receipt date, the amount purchased, and the cost. Next would be supply information, who this was bought from, the address, and if this is a subscription item, you can choose to enter the subscription start and end date. If not, select no. Save changes. Go to next. Now we have the upload section where we would be required to upload identification documents, authorization letter documents, certification, Board of Inland Revenue, registration document, VAT registration document. Here, my VAT registration number was entered before. Again, the expenditure related documents, we'd have upload fields enabled with the purchase order numbers and the receipt numbers that were entered on the previous step. So I'm just gonna upload these documents here. Next, now we can review the information that's entered before final submission, just to make sure that everything that was entered here is okay. Once that looks okay, and click next. We attest that the information that's being entered here is correct, and we choose switch. Right, and that's it. That's the submission process. So what happens now is iGovTT will process the application, and the liaison will receive emails on the progress of the application. And finally, when the application has been either approved or denied, a certificate will be issued. Right, and this would be an example of the certificate generated at the end of the entire process. So thank you for watching, and for more information, please visit the iGovTT's website. Take care.
Right. So ideally, that is the entire process. It's simple, it's straightforward, and of course, as Mr. Charles Bob-Semple mentioned before, there are places that you can go to get additional information, or if you have any issues, to actually raise it there, and we'll actually address those problems. The good thing is that being 100% developed by developers within Trinidad and Tobago is that if there are any major issues or any changes to the process, we are actually readily available to do such. So there will not be any large workarounds or anything of the sort before the process has been updated or the application itself is updated to be able to facilitate any changes that may have been added over the course of time. So just again touching on the certificates, and as Mr. Charles Bob-Semple said, these certificates are actually digitally signed. So that means that even though you may be able to copy the look and feel of the certificate, you will not be able to copy the actual signature that's attached to the certificate, which can then be verified by our database on the back end. So those are the elements, well, that is one of the elements that will be used to verify the certificate to ensure that your actual person has been approved by iGovTT to actually receive this particular certificate. Even the signatures that you have seen there, which are by the DCO and the Chief Executive Officer, those are also digitally signed. So it's not just one stage of verification for the document itself, but several different stages. Therefore, we're not saying that it's impossible, because nothing is impossible to deceive, but we're saying we're putting as much as we can to ensure that the verification methods are sound so that persons who have these certificates will not be something that anyone else can actually copy and use for nefarious. And that actually brings us to the end of the presentation. Just as a reminder, you can go to iGovTT's website, iGovTT, to be able to find out more information about CETA. And if you want to actually apply to the CETA application, it's actually CETA, CITA.gov.tt, and you'll be able to start your application from there. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Kern. Very, very informative. And I'm sure we have some questions from the floor. For the questions, a little housekeeping for the question and answer segment. It's not a massive group, so I'll invite you to open your mics and ask your questions, and you can put your question to the group. I would like to also add that joined that the General Manager of the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Michelle Monke, also the Secretary. She could not be here earlier. She had so yes, so for the question and answer, please open your mic, introduce yourself and answer the question. Yeah. Any question?
Hi, good morning. This is Sasha Sidu Greaves. I'm from Pash Trinidad Limited. I just have a question concerning, I know the expenditure that could be claimed back would be from the start of 2024 to the end of 2025. So can we proceed to register now, seeing that we have not incurred the rest of the expenditure for this year? Or do we have to wait till we actually incur all of it and then do the registration?
Right. So, or some question, the thing is that several organizations already registered, registered and submitted. You don't need to wait because I would have shared a bit earlier that I just doing something here so everyone could see. One moment, I just want Insight to see as well. Awesome. Yes. So I mentioned that actually a couple of companies already registered a solution and submitted applications and already received approval. The solution was also endorsed by the Chamber President of Trinidad and Tobago. And I would have mentioned you don't have to wait until you incur all the expenditure. If for instance, you want to incur 200 purchases between now and the end of December, it just means that our team will have more work in terms of checking and approving and so on. But that is okay. You don't have to wait until you incur all the expenses. Submit, register now and submit. And any questions you have, anything you may observe that, hey guys, probably if you do the same solution, it could be better. Kern already gave the commitment. He's an awesome software developer and has an amazing team with him that they will do their utmost best to rectify anything that you would have observed. Of course, Kern would have mentioned as well, it goes through the Trinidad and Tobago Cybersecurity Unit of Trinidad and Tobago and the Ministry of National Security. All of our solutions undergo that, those stress tests as well. So definitely, please register, submit, and we look forward to the approval.
Okay, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Question from in our room here from Michelle.
Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. Michelle Mulcahy, General Manager for the Shipping Association of Trinidad and Tobago. I may have missed this because I joined late. What is the tax allowance? What is the amount that you get for the tax allowance?
Sure. So it is for two categories. You have the software side and you have network monitoring, right, which is infrastructure side. It is up to 500,000. So thanks for asking that because persons were like, okay, Charles, if we go over 500,000 in previous sessions, that is not applicable, right? So it's 500,000 within the 2-year window, 1st of January 2024 to 31st December 2025. If for some reason you made an expenditure and it slipped you to make the submission and you recall this in January, that is, or February 2026, that is not a problem. But the expenditure cannot occur outside of the period. It is a tax deduction, so it is not as if you're going to get back a cash amount in hand to say on your account, but you will be paying less on your taxes, a tax deduction against your profits, up to $500,000.
Another question. We have a company that does our IT, but obviously they will buy software on our behalf. Who can apply for this tax allowance? Can we, or have to be the company that the IT company that?
Right. So whoever applies, they must be the user. So if it is you using that company, nothing is wrong with that. That's awesome, right? We're building our local ecosystem. But the thing is, the application has to be done by the shipping association in that regard. Because if they were to do it, we will observe that as a distributor and be like, no, but you're not shoring up your defenses. And the spirit of what the Minister of Finance proclaimed is that we have a more secure and sound cybersecurity posture. So once it's in that example, the shipping association and the approvals will take place as illustrated earlier.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Any more questions from the floor for the Secretariat? I have one. I have a EL55Y, explain this to me as a 5-year-old. Because I saw the certificate.
Yeah.
And you give an example. So for example, I do, just for clarification, I get everything right, and I get my certificate that I spent $200,000
yes.
Dollars in cybersecurity initiatives within my company to show up my defense. How then does that equate to a cost saving for me? So from the certificate, 200,000,
yes.
let's say I spend, how does that saving, do I realize the savings? What will be the quarter? Let's assume I make $500,000 in profit, because you said it's profit based.
Yeah, right. So great. I don't have the equation.
Okay.
But what will take place by Inland Revenue Division, they look at a percentage of your profit and to be able to apply tax to it. Now, when you expended and you say you have 200,000 you spent in your cybersecurity defenses, they will then apply that 200,000 against what that taxable amount is, so that you don't have to pay that amount. But in terms of the exact equation, I don't have it, but I could check and I could get it right. Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant. I could check that. But that's something on the Inland Revenue Division side, and it will be a standard equation they would have used for all such taxes, but I don't know it offhand, but I could simply try to.
So my taxable amount will be whatever that is minus my spending on.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Any more questions? Yes, Michelle.
Do you have any frequently asked questions?
Yes.
And these users could
yes.
To
yes. So Kern would have shared Twitter, iGovTT. You will see our website, and there's a ton of information on CETA. You will see. You know what? Let me try to find it and bring it up, right? So that everyone can see.
Actually, when you go onto the website, top right hand side, there's a About CETA button, large red button. If there gets all the information about CETA, but we just see exactly how it looks.
Okay, let me just share my screen for everyone. Okay, so everyone should be seeing my screen now, right? So I am on iGovTT's website. And so this is our website, our company news. All right, good. But based on our conversation, fine is a nice website, but that is not what we're here for. We hear the about CETA. So when you click on this, you would see this screen comes up here. Cybersecurity and eligibility standards and categories. And here we have a ton load of information. So eligibility, I click on that, information comes up, the standards that we put on. And you see, I'm not sure if you're able to see, right? You see a chat button come up here. I could initiate a chat with an agent here now. We have the frequently asked questions that was asked just now. So on each category here, let's take one. Where can I find out further updates on this initiative? And we click here, iGovTT, and you click on this, you'll be able to get more information. So if perchance you were to go here and you're like, you know what, it would have been awesome to get such and such information, just let us know and we'll have it up. I would have shared the full body budget speech where they're taking some pictures. If you want the full thing, you click here and let me see if it will pop up. And here you have the full budget speech from which I would have taken the extract. So the information is there. We have the FAQs. And let me just show you the CETA site that Kern would have spoken about, that they would have developed where you can actually do your application. So the CETA.gov.tt. So when you click on CETA, oops, I am logged in. So let me log out. This is what you will see when you come on the site, and when we had the voiceover that was taking us through the process, you would have seen the need to register or log in. And if it's your first time, you go to register, and as it will have taken you through name of organization and so on, fairly straightforward. I don't think it should take more than 10 minutes or if so long to register. And the submission is once you have all your documents, submission is fairly fast, for more than 10 minutes either, I think, as well. So all the information is there, and as Kurt mentioned, we are at your disposal if you need any information. If you would like a session or require clarification, you can always chat with one of the agents, or visit the site, or send an email, or call 800 TTCN, or visit our service center if there is a problem.
Thank you, Charles. Any other questions? Very happy to say that we kept it tight as indicated. Thank you very much, Charles.
My pleasure.
For taking time out of your busy schedule to come and bring this initiative to us. And I hoped we would have had more people in attendance, but I think as the word spreads now, people might start to come on board and asking questions. Yes. And we may have to look at a follow-up because I think it's something that particularly we're an industry with a significant number of SMEs, small and medium-sized businesses, who will be trying to beef up their cybersecurity. So I would expect we may have to look at a follow-up as that will get around. But thank you very much. Very energizing, very informative.
And let me just take the opportunity on behalf of iGovTT to work here. Thanks for the opportunity, and thanks for your moderation. Yeah. Thanks for your attendance in person. So we had the hybrid, and so we really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And thanks very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. And to everyone who attended, took time from their busy schedule to be with us here today, thank you very much. You could always look forward to see some sort of initiative like this, virtual webinar and that kind of thing from the Shipping Association to help bring you value. In this particular case, how you could save money by doing some and protect yourself, build your competency in cybersecurity and protecting your much precious data. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, Andrea, as well, for your IT support. Thank you very much, guys, and enjoy your day. Bye.